You know, it's been a while since I've used my pit barrel cooker, so in today's video, I'm going to smoke up a Wagyu Tri-Tip from Midland Meat Company on my pit barrel cooker. Stay tuned. You can see, look at this bark. It's crazy. Oh man, this is perfect. It helps to start with a nice sharp knife, okay? Oh my goodness. Look at that. All right, so I've got about a 2.5 pound Wagyu Tri-Tip. Again, this one is from Midland Meat Company, and I absolutely love the marbling of their meat, not just the Tri-Tip, their briskets are amazing as well. So 2.5 pounds. Now I'm gonna inject this Tri-Tip. Now, I'm not injecting to add moisture. I'm injecting to add flavor into this Tri-Tip. And what I'm using today is this Cosmos Q. This is the reserve blend. And I've got it mixed up with some beef broth. I believe it's 1/3 cup with 2 cups of liquid, which I use some beef broth on this one. So I'm gonna inject it, try to inject all over this Tri-Tip. And you are gonna have that problem on a Tri-Tip, especially if it's Wagyu like this. Just keep injecting. If it's not coming out, just keep on injecting, just like that, because that's going somewhere, okay? Now, because there's a lot of marbling on this Tri-Tip, you're gonna get some of the seepage, okay? But if you find a spot, just keep on injecting. See how it puffs up like that? Just keep going. Okay. Whoa, squirted on myself. So we'll see how much injection this takes. And again, because of the marbling, you'll get a little more seepage than normal, than on a non-Wagyu, but again, I want this to be extremely flavorful. There you go, found a nice pocket there. Just keep on injecting. Okay, that's good enough there. Now you want to use some of this injection just to kind of soak it up, and that gives the rub something to adhere to as well. So let's get to rubbing it down. The rub I'm using today is a top secret. I can't tell you what it is, but it is from Victory Lane Barbecue. This should be the final sample, okay? But you can see there it's got some good pepper and some other spices. So it's going to be good on any beef product. And again, this is the final sample. Hopefully we dialed it in. And we get to put it out in the market here pretty soon. Okay, so just put enough of the rub on there. Don't be afraid to add rub, because when you slice up a Tri-Tip, you're only getting rub on the edges, on that small piece of that edge. Okay, so I'm going to finish rubbing this down, and we'll see you guys outside. Stay tuned. All right, so I've got my charcoal going. I am using some Fogo charcoal today. I've got about 3/4 of a basket. Now this is a big basket, and I started it with my gas burner. Once the coals are nice and red hot, then I'll go ahead and dump that into my pit barrel cooker. This is just the way I do it. And I am using some hickory chunks as well for some added flavor. Now you don't need it. I'm using this Fogo charcoal, but I want some additional flavor. It's not going to cook for a long time, so it's just about ready. Stay tuned. All right, so I just dropped my basket of charcoal in there. Let's hang this Tri-Tip. I am using 2 of the rib hooks just on one of these rods here, just like that. Don't forget to put in your second rod, as that is part of the ventilation system. Now I have ran this pit barrel with just 1 rod where I just cross it depending on what I'm cooking, but for this Tri-Tip, this setup is perfect. Now I do have a gauge on my lid as well, a temperature gauge, so I'll be able to monitor the temperature. I'm gonna say this is probably gonna take maybe 40 minutes, if that. I'm gonna go for about a medium, not a medium rare, about a medium. So I'm gonna start checking it about 125 or so, and then just watch it from that point. So stay tuned. All right, so we're at the 40-minute mark, and the pit is running right at 300 degrees. It was running right at 275 to 300. Let's get an internal temperature of this beautiful Tri-Tip here. And I am using this new Inkbird thermometer. Temperature right now is 131. I'm going to take this to 145 and then pull it. Okay, 132. So still got a little bit more to go. And again, I am using some hickory chunks to get me some extra smoke flavor. So I'm thinking another 10 minutes. I'll let you guys know how long it takes. Stay tuned. All right, so the tri-tip is ready, and the total cook time was right at an hour. Now I pulled it at 142 degrees, you know, thinking I would have about a 10-degree carryover. And again, I was shooting for a medium to medium well. And the only reason I did that is because my daughter and wife don't like the meat as rare as I do, okay? So I'm gonna go over the process on how to properly slice a tri-tip. I see a lot of people doing it incorrectly, which makes for a tough piece of meat. So I'm gonna go over the process. Now this piece was that longer piece, but it obviously looks like it shrunk down a little bit. What you wanna do is, if you can see it, and I can see it here, where the grains start to run this way, okay? Now on this rounder part, the grains are running this way, and I can see it right here. You can see the natural seam. So I'm just gonna cut it, not like this, but at an angle, almost right at a corner, okay? And even though we went to 142 degrees and let the carryover cook a little bit more, it's still gonna be really juicy. Watch this. See, it's still nice and pink on the inside, nice and juicy. So now what you wanna do is you wanna start to fan this out, okay? So start slicing this way and end up almost straight right here, okay? Show you that. Nice thin slices. Okay, now I'm going to start to come over a little bit. See me turning that knife a little bit there? Turning it again. Turning it again. Now you can make tacos with this. You can have this with mashed potatoes and veggies. You can make yourself a tri-tip sandwich. Okay, now my knife is nice and straight. Now as we get to this point, it's going to be a little bit more on the medium well range. Okay, which is fine. But now my knife is nice and straight. Just go ahead and continue slicing. Okay, just like that. Okay, perfectly cut tri-tip. Now, for this section here, we're actually going to pull it aside, just like this, and slice it in this direction here. Okay. Nice thin slices, and again, look at this, it's extremely juicy. Like my buddy Rye says, the juice-a-lanch. I also want to take this time to recommend a channel, Eric at Camp House Barbecue. He's trying to get to 1,000 subscribers, and I believe he's at 870, so he's really close. I'm going to leave a link up top to his channel so you guys can check him out after you watch this video. And also, I'm going to leave a link up top on how to trim a tri-tip, and it was actually a Wagyu Tri-Tip from Midland Meat Company as well. Okay. These pieces are getting a little thin right here, which is fine. Go ahead and slice it. And same with this piece here. Just continue to slice in that direction. Okay. Now that right there is a properly sliced tri-tip. Okay. So let me reassemble this. Okay. So that's how you want to slice your tri-tip, if you can see it there. Okay. Again, we fanned out right here. Okay, and ended up straight. And these pieces are a little bit more medium well. But look at this. It's perfect. Okay. Back up the camera, give it a taste. Stay tuned. All right, let's give this wonderful tri-tip a taste. Now, before we taste it, I want to tell you that this is my first time using this ink bird thermometer. They sent it to me, and I got to tell you, I like it. The accuracy is on point. I checked it against some of my other meat thermometers, and it's accurate. Okay, I put in some ice cold water. They were all at 33 degrees. It's easy to use. It lights up. Plus, it's waterproof, so if you leave it outside, no worries. It's going to be okay. I'm going to leave a link in the description box so you guys can check out this thermometer. Now let's dive into this tri-tip. Let me see, what do I want? I want to try one of these pieces here. Look at this. Okay, it's not overly cooked. Got some medium pieces in here, which is perfect. Nothing wrong with a little bit of medium. Let's give it a taste. I bit off more than I could chew. Really tender. The flavor from that rub is really good. Let me give my camera person a taste here. Here, lady. It's really good, really tender. The flavor on the rub. Oh man. Good, baby? Man. Don't throw these juices away. Just kind of slop them up here. Okay, just like that. But the rub is really good. The smoke flavor from that Fogo charcoal, the meat is fantastic. I'm gonna say that this is probably one of the best tri-tips that I cooked, and I've cooked several, and this is probably my fourth one from Midland Meat Company, and they're all really, really good. But I gotta tell you, the rub, the smoke flavor from that Fogo charcoal, the hickory chunks that I put in that pit barrel cooker, really, really tasty. I highly recommend it. I will let you guys know as soon as this rub comes out. I'm extremely pleased with it. I think we got it. Thanks for watching. Hit that subscribe button. Until next time, Joe with Smokin Joe's Pit Barbecue. See ya.